Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This week I have Jonathan with us. I'm really excited to share with you more about who he is, what he does, and with all that said, Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Tony. I'm really excited to be here.
Same here. It's been a long wait, but it's totally worth it. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about your one word open that you like to open up with.
I'd have to go with invigorated, mainly because today is the day that masks are no longer required in California. We're doing great with the vaccinations here, and I'm so invigorated and ready to just come off my sofa and turn off Zoom and just come back to this experiential renaissance in front of us.
I love the energy, man. And I know you do a lot of speaking, so I think you're going to be excited to get back out there on the circuit and do your public, speaking gigs and stuff like that. So, with that said, let's talk about your business. If you could take 3 to 5 minutes, Jonathan, share with us about, more about who you are and how you got started, and then what your business is all about and what you're up to today.
Yeah. So I got my start actually at Red Bull. My first job right after college was at Red Bull. I got hired onto the marketing team. And a lot of people, this was when Red Bull first came to the United States. Not that many people knew what it was. And on the marketing team, this totally blew my mind because we were spending billions of dollars a year, billions with a B, on experiences. We believed even back then that digital marketing was completely oversaturated, right? We see thousands of advertisements every day, and every time we receive a spam email, click on a banner ad, click on an Instagram ad, look at a billboard, there's zero engagement with the brand. But you bring your best friends at this crazy Red Bull event, and there are people jumping out of airplanes, going down mountains on tricycles, DJs playing, people are dancing, everyone's having an amazing time. And somebody comes up to you and hands you an ice cold Red Bull. This actually creates an emotional bond that not only changes your behavior, but also changes your perception of the brand. So clearly it worked, right? We spent billions of dollars a year on this, and Red Bull has by far number one market share. But what drove me absolutely crazy is that we had no data. We had no understanding of how these experiences were actually transformative or not. So, cut to now, and I believe we're in the middle of a massive cultural and economic shift from a things economy to an experience economy. And we see this in terms of millennials who are spending way more money on experiences than things. We see this in terms of retailers that are literally shutting down every week. We see this in terms of the psychology coming out showing that experiences actually make us happier than things. We see this in terms of the cultural zeitgeist. People like Marie Kondo, who have built global brands, telling us, go into your closet and get an object and ask yourself, does this bring me joy? And if not, you throw it away. Like this would have never happened 50 years ago. So in this massive cultural and economic shift, what we're seeing is that the brands that are thriving are the ones that are actually transforming themselves into experiential businesses. So essentially, what we built is what we call an ERM, experience relationship management. And AnyRoad really exists to partner with the most innovative brands in the world, scale experiences globally, and really pull in enough data so we can actually show how these experiences are transforming behavior and brand sentiment.
That is pretty awesome. I love the way you put it all together. It all made sense. So that's really great. And who's the typical sweet spot? I know you help a lot of different type of clients, but who's the sweet spot client that you like to help the most?
Yeah, yeah. So we work in a lot of different verticals. We work with organizations like Budweiser, that does over 1.6 million brewery experiences per year. We work with the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, if you've ever been down there. We work with brands like Michael's Art Stores that do over 1 million art classes per year in store and online. We work with brands like Dick's Sporting Goods that are actually transforming some of their stores into these house of sports where you can go on climbing walls and batting cages. We work with brands like Honda that do a lot of education and outreach to Honda customers. We even work at the World Economic Forum in Davos. So really, it's we work with any large organization that really wants to connect more with their customers and realizing that advertising is not the way to do that at scale. Really, when it comes to ROI and true engagement, it's all about experiential.
That's awesome. Let's talk about some recent wins. So, what would be something that you've recently experienced that you consider a win, And what was your takeaway from that?
Great question. So COVID year was very, very difficult for for a lot of us personally, but also as a company for AnyRoad. Right, we are all about the experience economy, and March 11th was a great day. March 12th was not a great day, and we just this was a really existential moment. We were like, what is the experience economy in a world stuck indoors in their sofas? And we really didn't know what was going to happen. But the way the team came together, uh, they came up with a new platform called Any Road at Home. They whipped out V1 in just a couple weeks, which was able to move all of these experiential programs with hundreds of customers online onto Zoom. And we just took a big bet that like the experience economy was not going away; it was just going to move online. And the speed, the innovation, the creativity of the team not only kept us alive, but we ended up actually growing significantly through the pandemic, because not only were we powering in real life experiences like we always have, but we now power online digital experiences also. And so really like it was a very difficult year. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but it was just so inspiring to see the team when everyone's under pressure and the future of the company is has big question marks all over it, that have just come together, trusting each other, taking risks, and really moving forward. And I think that it was just an absolute huge win in the time of adversity.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the opposite side of that. So let's talk about failure. What does failure mean to Jonathan? Two, what's a recent failure you experienced? And three, what was your takeaway from that?
Yeah. So I think failure is just when some people in the Olympics like to run and just sprint. And I'm not a runner, but some people like to run and jump over the hurdles. But one cannot finish that race without jumping over the hurdles. So I look at failures as very necessary. Every time, a couple times when we've raised, our when we've raised rounds of investment, I've ended up pitching, hundreds of, literally over 100 investors who have just said no. And in the beginning, that used to really get me down, right? You have these very smart people who are very famous, and they say, "No, we think your business is stupid." And now it's just a necessary part. And I go in thinking, all right, for every 50 who say no, we're going to hopefully get one that says yes. And hopefully you work to better those ratios. But when you look at the failing of each individual conversation as a necessary step to complete the race, then you don't get down about it. You're just like notch on the wall, 1 2 3, and you're like, by the time I get to 50, I will have a yes in there. So my it's not totally recent, but I'm going to bring it up because I think it was it made a large impression on me. My first business ever, which I started with two friends in college when I was a freshman, um, in 1999, did not work at all. And we really tried to get it to work. And it was a really good idea. It was free postal mail anywhere in the world, which was interesting. And we had a VC. We met like a venture capitalist, and this was in the middle of like the dot-com boom, who came to meet with us and offered us a lot of money. But he had one stipulation, which was that we all had to drop out of school, drop out of college, and move down to Mountain View. And he was going to hire us, and he was going to get us an office and help us hire staff, and we are going to do this full time. We sat around and we're like, well, this is a lot of money. This is a great opportunity. And we ultimately were like, no, we think that we can actually build this and be full-time students, right? We were loving being in college. I mean, this was a great time in our lives. And what happened? Life happened, right? Somebody started dating somebody, school got difficult, there was a lot of homework, and it kind of fell apart. And I would not change that decision for a second, because I learned more about the importance of commitment from there than anything else that I ever had. One of my favorite quotes from Goethe is, "At the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to help you." And I actually used to think that was a quote by Bjork, because she used to say it a lot. But it is Goethe, and it's really in relationships, in work, in every part of society and in life. I think that really commitment is the key to just going all in or not doing it at all.
I love that. And it's so powerful. Commitment, like you said, it's all about commitment, and the universe does line up for you. That's really cool. Yeah. If you could go back in time and if you had 30 seconds and you're sitting in front of your 21-year-old self, Jonathan, and you could give one piece of advice in under 30 seconds, what would that be?
Um, my grandpa always used to say, "Enjoy life." That was all he used to say that all the time. It actually says it on his grave now. It just says, "Enjoy life." And I think that when it comes down to it, and we look back on our 20s, on our 30s, on when my grandpa looked back on his life, it's not about the Slack messages, it's not about the revenue curves, it's about the adventures, it's about the risks, the people, the love. And I would tell myself, don't do anything different. Just enjoy life, and the rest will come.
Beautiful. What's that one question that you wish I would have asked you and I haven't asked you?
Um, Probably what gets me up in the morning.
Great. So what gets you up in the morning?
Caffeine. I'm not kidding. But in addition to that, I'm extremely passionate about making the world less materialistic and more focused on experiences. I think that it experiences allow us to enjoy life more. I think it allows for a stronger human connection. And I think that the research is there that if you give somebody a gift, it ends up in which is an object, it ends up in a drawer. You give somebody an experience, that's a memory that lasts forever. And I really believe that the world becoming more experiential is not only great environmentally and great psychologically, but it is kind of inevitable now that things have become commoditized.
That is remarkable. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
Absolutely. If our listeners wanted to find out more information, if you could please give out your website address and also any handles you want to share in case they want to follow up with you.
Yeah. So Any Road can be found at anyroad.com or Any Road on pretty much any platform. On Twitter, I don't tweet a lot. I don't really have a lot of time for tweeting and don't find it extremely fulfilling, but I'm Where is Yaffe? And you can email me directly, jonathan@anyroad.com. And I respond to emails incessantly.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And here we are at the end, sadly. Um, what would that one word close be that you could sign us off with and why?
Well, I started with invigorated, so reinvigorated, because this was absolutely fantastic talking to you, and I have even more energy now and excited to get out into the world and turn off Zoom for the rest of the day.
Me too. Jonathan, thank you so much. This has been a meaningful conversation. I can't wait to have you back on here soon.
Anytime.
And absolutely, and just to catch up with you. Thanks for the energy again.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.